I have a statement for discussion. Something that is as close to human culture as culture is to humans. Hatred. Hatred is a very underwritten expression. Believably, it always has been. And until that utopian day where everything magically works out under the perfect ideology or incorruptible government, which can't happen, it's an asymptote at best. Until that utopian day, hatred will remain a very underwritten expression. When people talk about media manipulating viewpoints, when people talk about propaganda, when people talk about fear-mongering followed up by a reactive solution, they are marketing hatred. I'll mention again that CGP Grey did a great video on how well anger sells ideas. I'll link it in the description below for anyone who wants to have a look. I recommend anything the man puts on his channel. It's like 80s and 90s PBS. It's healthy stuff for your brain. But they are marketing hatred. Now, when I say hatred is a very underwritten expression, I'm referring to the process of underwriting. That is, if your idea, your voice of anger, will sell whatever it is that a group wants to sell, that group will underwrite your hatred, boosting your voice and cushioning your liabilities, because in the end, the hatred your idea provokes benefits that group. If your idea is unfavorable to the larger commercial audience, if your idea of anger and disapproval and spite does not pass resources or monies in the right direction, your idea shall not be underwritten. Your idea will not be marketed. And if your idea is legitimate or the rhetoric effective, a message will likely be crafted and underwritten to be marketed against you. The big money in politics follows this process. Dishonest journalism is proof that grievances must be validated with corresponding sales to be supported, and their liabilities backed by a larger platform like a media outlet or a conference. Send the right kind of hate out there, and the cash man will come clamoring to your door just to get a piece of the action and put a sticker of his brand name onto your message and cover your possible losses in return. Useful idiots spitting hate get their message underwritten, and a cushion of media spin anchors the sale of that idea to be heard over and over again as an advertisement to push goods and services to a third-party benefactor. When people you are receptive to and people you are not receptive to, I'll give a popular example of someone who is received poorly. Anita Sarkeesian says something to the effect of, the less you think the media manipulates you, the more you are probably affected by the media. This is what they are touching on, right or wrong, in their generalization. You must realize on a surface level, on a conscious level, that you are being marketed. Your views are being lobbied with hatred for a majority of the time you consume information nowadays. You don't have to put on a tinfoil hat and get all paranoid. You don't have to go full justice warrior, but notice. You should notice when you're being sold something that is unhealthy. Mental health issues are on a staggering incline in America, partly because of the sale of unhealthy ideas, and partly because through moving the goalpost and classifying everybody as mentally ill, they can sell pharmaceuticals, they can sell insurance and legal protections, they can sell positive rights that give third parties more control in your life. Independence. Independence is a solution to this eternal marketing campaign. You can't get your message underwritten because your grievance isn't status quo. Self-employ. Take on your own liability and get your message out. Do not rely on the supporting voice of the people whose views and life you wish to expose for the better. If you are truly passionate and are willing to take personal responsibility over your own anger and spite, have your own final say. To self-employ your voice. The hatred you employ will be unapproved, and sales may be low at first. But the individual is not doing it for the money. The individual is largely trying to gain security. The individual lodging grievances is trying to sleep at night in a world of funded protesters creeping ever closer to their door on the grounds of their very existence and possibly the existence of their loved ones. Having trouble sleeping at night because of stress? Might this be part of it? All this hatred you didn't earn knocking at your door? Debt, racial tension, political disagreement, hunger, loss, impugned opportunity, and injustice. Go independent. Market your own grievance. Nobody is going to do it for you, particularly if it costs them more than it benefits. The liabilities can be staggering. For example, if you look at the two phrases, Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter, you'll be hit with an inversion of the truth. Black Lives Matter is a racial statement. All Lives Matter is a statement that is inclusive on epistemic grounds to everything that lives. But you will be told the untruth that all lives matter is a bigoted and racist thing to say. Think of the Disney movie Bambi every time someone says all lives matter is racist. All lives matter has nothing to do with race, and everything to do with the category of the living. Black Lives Matter is a racially segregated statement, exclusionary to anyone that isn't of African descent. The liabilities can be staggering. Lodging your grievance can lose you your job and your property and your livelihood, perhaps even your life. But if you want to sleep at night, and there's plenty of time to sleep in the grave, you have got to be willing to take the liability of expressing an opposing view, or digest the slow decay at the cost of 5 more minutes of quote, unquote, peace. Malice and untruth are winning 5 minutes at a time while you roll around restless in your mattress. Negotiation on all levels is dead in Western culture, and you, the individual, are likened to the overpopulation of the animal shelter. Stay quiet and take your ration, your shots, your medicine, and wait for your turn to be put to sleep because it costs the shelter, your society, too much to keep you caged and living. Follow instinct and protest. Make as much noise and pose a feral danger to your wardens, the ones with the keys to your cage, until it is your hastened turn to be put to sleep. Again, because it costs the shelter, your society, too much to keep you caged and living. Or you can follow the architects of Western society and dump your hatred into an aquifer, creatively and purposefully crafting your message in response to your grievance. Craft your message with the time you are given, that your negotiation, unique and unforgettable, may rescue you from the shelter. That your negotiation, unique and unforgettable, may expand your own opportunity, under the aid of people who are not going through the motions, so that you might choose when you sleep, and sleep soundly, instead of relegating yourself to being put to sleep by a shelter, your society, whose views are that the cost of keeping you caged and living have become too high.